here we got it. The machine, through a lot of trial and error, through different transistors, and learning along the way, learning from experience, this machine has now successfully been restored. As before, we had a very weak amplifier in which the sound was not very loud on playback and was even worse when it came to recording. It recorded distorted if you spoke too loud into the amplifier, even though it was weak. One capacitor was slightly leaky, but that wasn't the culprit of the amplifier's problem. It was a bad germanium transistor. After going through all kinds of different transistors, it's finally been resolved with using 3 RCA transistors. RCA 2N2614. So now the machine works properly. I'm using a dynamic microphone in the making of this recording. This is the distance at which I speak. Hopefully the camera has got it. This is a rim drive tape recorder. I'm using a dynamic microphone in the making of this recording. This is the distance at which I speak. Hopefully the camera has got it. This is a rim drive tape recorder. I will give a shout out to the real master, a lover of rim drive and portable reel-to-reel tape recorders. A shout out will also go to the Forgetful Collector for his enthusiasm in the tape recorder world. Another shout out to Cloudside, who loves to restore vintage tape recorders to very, very good working conditions. Another Dispatch Spare 2, who's a fan of vintage electronic devices. Another will go to Emerson Kylie for his loving of the vintage electronics and fans. Another to Vinyl Records Never Die for his loving of vintage record players and tape recorders. And all the other YouTubers out there, Urban Explorer 1996, that includes you, and all the others, if I didn't say your name, don't feel bad. You're included in all the others say. This concludes. That was with a dynamic mic. We will now go to Crystal Mic. Another shout out goes to JRC Studios. Okay, I've just been reminded of that because this Crystal Mic, in his words, has lost its crystal power. Well, it still has a tiny bit of crystal power left in it, but it's pretty much dead. It's very weak. But this is the original mic to the recorder. And we also got the original earphone. My phone's ringing. So the crystal microphone we'll be using is a 1950s Electro Voice. And we have to use an adapter to make the 1/4 inch jack into a 1/8 inch jack so we can plug it into the recorder. And let's plug it in. I'm now using a crystal microphone, the Electro Voice microphone with this recorder. This recorder gives a very vintage sound, by the way. Let's see how this sounds. Before you rewind, you have to switch it to play, or the permanent magnet will stay against the tape and erase while it rewinds. I don't know why the heck it does that, but I guess I'm going to have to deal with that for the rest of the time this recorder exists.
Well, this recorder sometimes likes to whine while it records, but it's not that bad. Actually, I'm able to monitor recording while I have an earphone or a headphone I was using. And the crystal microphone, when monitoring, had very scarily bad sounding sound, but it actually recorded better than it monitored in that case. Not frequency response wise, but distortion wise. It's not as distorted as it was while it was monitoring that time. I think this is with the crystal mic.
When it's all the way up right now, and it sounds the worst thing ever. I guess just the design of the amplifier itself isn't good. As a matter of fact, this sounds scarily similar to how it was after I put in those silicon transistors. That's ridiculous as ever done. It's the most ridiculous thing. It's the volume control. You turn the volume control down, you're going to sound better, but still distorted.
Let's do some tests with the dynamic mic. Start it up without a mic, plug in the mic while recording. Doing another test with the realistic dynamic microphone. Let's see how this sounds.
Down now, with the realistic dynamic microphone. Let's see how this sounds.
Wasn't that bad. Level's all the way up now. And we're speaking again with the dynamic mic. Let's see how this sounds.
Speaking again with the dynamic mic. Let's see how this sounds.
It's not that sensitive by recording, with the level all the way up, but
All the way up now. We're speaking again with the dynamic mic. Let's see how this sounds.
but it's a lot better than it used to be. I guess this recorder was never meant to be a very good quality recorder, and the amp is probably working the best it ever has in a while. It's probably the best I can ever get the amp to work. It's not very good, but it's better than how it was before. It's actually a usable machine now. So there it is, the Mayfair FT-102A.